Get yourself to okjersey.com, where you can buy all the best football shirts around, including the amazing vintage Spurs tops I wear on this channel. But I think the Spurs shirt you'll really want is, of course, the absolutely magnificent Tottenham 1901 FA Cup winners 125-year anniversary top, available in both short and long sleeve. And as if that wasn't enough, if you go onto their website and like the look of one of their shirts, choose your size, get your name and a number on the back, or the Champions League badge on the sleeve as well if you're that way inclined, then go to checkout, type the word BARN into the coupon section. That's BARN as in short for Barnaby, and when you do, you'll get 8% off your purchase. Get yourself to okjersey.com, or if you're too lazy to go to the website, just scan the QR code that's on the left of me throughout this video. Enjoy! So it's happened. What we knew was going to happen has happened. Sunday afternoon, I think we announced, 3:30 p.m.? It's a bizarre time to announce a managerial sacking. But Igor Tudor has gone. He has gone, and Tottenham have released a statement. I'm going to go through all of the details. But Tom Barkley says Spurs plan to appoint a new head coach in the coming days after parting ways with Igor Tudor. Assistant Bruno Salter will lead training at the moment for the few players at the training ground who are not on international duty. But the new coach will be in place for when players are back. I mean, why is this happening when players... Why is this happening? What? Basically, wait, why are they leaving in charge while they're on international duty? His assistant. Or maybe that's not his assistant, Salter. It's honestly, Tottenham is such a circus. It's actually hard to remember. Anyway, Tottenham released this statement. We can confirm that it has been mutually agreed, sure it has, for head coach Igor Tudor to leave the club with immediate effect. Tomislav Rogic and Ricardo Ragnacci have also left their respective roles of goalkeeping coach and physical coach. We thank Igor, Tomislav and Ricardo for their efforts during the past 6 weeks in which they worked tirelessly. We also acknowledge the bereavement that Igor has recently suffered and send our support to him and his family at this difficult time. An update on a new head coach will be provided in due course. What have they been doing in the last week? What have they been doing in the last week if it's not getting a new head coach sorted, be that an interim or a full-time? So basically what they've done is, I think we all knew this had to happen on Monday, but they're like, oh, that would look a bit crass. So we'll wait, 6 days. And then hope that it doesn't look as crass, and put in the, statement, we acknowledge his bereavement. Oh, thanks for acknowledging it. Meanwhile, you're sacked, pal. But it is the right decision. Look, let's face it. It is the right decision. But now your guess is as good as mine as to who they bring in. He got 1 point away at Anfield in 6 games. And, Alistair Gold has said this. The plan is for the new head coach to be in place in the next couple of days when the players are back from international duty, giving them 10 days to work together. Deary me. Deary me. Let me know what you think in the comments. But actually, Reagan187 said this international break has been absolute bliss for a Spurs fan. I mean, it has up to now because we don't have to watch Spurs. Boyd says Adolf, new manager. Yeah, Adolf Hutter is on the list, believe it or not. I did see someone suggest the list. Here we go. Matt Law, that's right. It says Tottenham may be forced into another short-term appointment. De Zerbi is interested if they stay up, while Pochettino's focused on the World Cup. Ben Davis, Redknapp, Hoddle, Sherwood, and Houghton are options. Checks on Hutter and Dyche available. I mean, for me, out of that list, right? If they give it to Ben Davies, is that basically where they do a thing where they bring in Redknapp or Hoddle and say, and Ben Davies is the manager, but he's being helped by Redknapp or Hoddle, or Sherwood, I guess. Houghton, I think, would be absolute calamity. I mean, he hasn't managed for as long as basically Redknapp hasn't managed, and the clubs that he did manage, Norwich and Newcastle, hate him, absolutely hate him. So, that's mad. And then obviously the Dyche one, I'm sure you all saw over the weekend, Dyche go on TalkSport and talk about how he's not had talks, but he was in London, and I don't think that's a coincidence, but we'll see. Tim Wukong, thank you for your comment, says, would rather Ange for the last few games than Adolf. He knows the players and they'll put in the effort for him. Listen, I like Ange. I'm not sure about Adolf. Ryan Mason not on that list, interestingly, is he? but they must have someone sorted. It must be tomorrow, surely. Jamie O'Hara says, Igor is gone. Had to be done. That's half the job. Now we have to get the right person to save this season. Someone who knows his formation, knows the league, and will stick to his team, give them belief, and get a tune out the best players last round of the dice. Actually, one of the least mental things that Jamie O'Hara has ever said. He's pretty much right there. I mean, we've got to find someone who's going to put the right players in their right positions for a start. Ergo in Twitter says, Dyche would love to be the one who saves Spurs and simultaneously sends Forest down. My kind of petty-mindedness. Maybe, but as I've said so many times, so many times, we've just had 2 Sean Dyches in charge. Thomas Frank, direct long ball football, just like Sean Dyche. The players couldn't handle it. And Igor Tudor, the same, just direct long ball football. The players couldn't handle it. Graham says, so is Ryan Mason back as interim? And Bears says Mason got sacked in the championship. No, it's an impossible job, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, dearie me. And MKP says due course had better be in the next 24 hours. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, it's a weird time to announce this. You've got to think, you have to surely think that by Monday morning, they will have this sorted. Surely. Otherwise, honestly, like I said, what are you doing with the last 5 days? What have they been doing? But once again, complete laughing stock. Complete and utter laughing stock. Douglas Bagley says, I've said it previously and I'll say it again. If Spurs really want Maurizio Pochettino bad enough, and if Maurizio Pochettino really wants Spurs bad enough, then I think a deal can be done immediately. I'm pretty certain Maurizio Pochettino is not loved by all the American fans. I don't think it's quite as simple as that. Yogi Bear says, Adolf in. Yeah. Ed619 says, I think Sherwood might get the call. Yeah. I mean, it's Sherwood and Redknapp, isn't it, who've really been jonesing for it. But why wouldn't they have just done it before if they were going to give it to that one of them? That's the thing. Like, why wouldn't they have just given it to them before? There's been all this time. There was all the time where they were already jonesing for it before Igor Tudor got the call. Why wouldn't they just have already kind of made that decision? I mean, I've said it before. For me, it would be kind of a Redknapp or an Ange at this point. It really would. But I don't know if... I just, like I said, why wouldn't they have gone down that route before? DM says, Spurs have been shipbuilding from the back. Long ball football is safe at least and not the problem. Mate, it is. I'm sorry, in my opinion, and it's all subjective, but those players are not designed for long ball football and it's not working and they don't know how to play it. I'm not suggesting we have to build up from the back like, you know, prime Pep. Like, you don't always have to play it like that, but they've been built as a squad to play football on the deck. That's what I'm talking about. Aurelia Cruz says, any rumoured names? Yeah. Redknapp, Sherwood, Chris Hughton, Ben Davies, unbelievably. And that's kind of it. Goose2827 says, Poch incoming, watch his space. Well, it's probably worth talking about the fact that Pochettino's American team did get absolutely spanked yesterday. 5-2. It was 5-1 until the last minute, pretty much, I think. And they got absolutely spanked. And Pochettino came out afterwards and said, this will help us grow. I think Poch would have to be sacked by America for him to be an option to come in now. And I don't think that's going to happen realistically. There really aren't that many options out there. Obviously, De Zerbi is one that they've clearly been trying to get, but he doesn't want it until the summer. And also, a lot of the Spurs fan base have kind of pulled together to try and get some letters out to the club saying we don't want Roberto De Zerbi. Godfrey, thank you for your comments. Says, afternoon, Barnaby. Spurs approach 8 caretaker managers prior to the Atletico home game. Just mentioned a couple of minutes ago on Talk Sport. Interesting. G Rich says, Lewis Enoch out. Yeah, it's listen, the Enoch situation is a joke. There was a report this week talking about how, you know, Spurs were looking to make a decision on Igor Tudor, but they had to get it signed off by Florida. And we all know who lives in Florida. It's Joe Lewis, let's face it. Anas Ahmed says, Langer and Vinay should have nothing to do with any further appointments from here on in. Any trust in them had to have been lost when the decision to sack Frank was taken out of their hands. Their mismanagement of this football club will almost certainly send us down now. And then Krish says, keep an eye on Adolf Hutter, Spurs fans. Tottenham Hotspur have held talks with Adolf Hutter and his camp in the last days, as revealed before. One of the top targets for Spurs' sporting department. Nothing done yet, but movements are taking place. Other important names include De Zerbi and Sean Dyche. Listen, I'm not going to claim I know a lot about Addy Hutter. What I will say is I'm pretty sure you can't be named Adolf in Germany anymore, but he obviously was born at a time where you just about could. But what a meme. Like, what a meme that would be if Tottenham appoint Adolf Hutter, Adolf Hutter, as their manager, as they're about to go down. Like, Tottenham just go from one meme to the next in terms of embarrassing themselves. HMQ, I don't disagree with this. Says go down fighting, get an attacking manager and have a go. I don't disagree with that at all. I completely agree. Listen, we're getting relegated playing appalling football as it is. So don't bring in someone else to play appalling football. That's how I feel about it. Don't bring somebody else in to play more appalling football. That's true. He's Austrian. Sorry, a few people in the comments saying he's Austrian. That's true. Yogi Bear, Doom. I mean, to be honest, though, so was the original Adolf. So same kind of thing. Yeah, even funnier, as Doom says. Yeah, exactly. Yogi Bear, like the great painter. Exactly. David's Burden says, heard Allardyce on Sean Show. I assume Allardyce wasn't on Sean Show, but you heard that was a rumour. I mean, seems unlikely. But at this point, with such a laughing stock, anything could happen. Adam Nathan says 4 permanent managers in 12 months should lead to everyone involved in the decision-making being fired. No ifs, buts, or maybes. That shows there isn't a competent brain inside the building. Get them all gone. Yeah. Marcus Buckland from the View from the Lane podcast says, well, it took them a week to make the inevitable decision. Huge sympathy for Igor Tudor following the loss of his dad. Don't blame him for accepting the job. Club got it so badly wrong once more. Obviously, they cannot afford to screw up again. Yeah. I mean, you know. And Mitch Fretton says, can only be Ryan Mason till the end now for me. Genuinely don't see a better alternative. Blimey. I mean, I guess the benefit of Ryan Mason is he knows the players because he was assistant with, with Ange Postecoglou. 1 second, I've just got to look at a work message. 1 second. One second. Sorry, guys. Keep an eye on the comments just while I quickly answer this work thing. Doom says, as a Brighton fan, Houghton was the manager that made us survive promotion to the Premier League. Survive promotion to the Premier League. And then you say, I wouldn't recommend him at all, to be honest. No, nor would I. Yeah, sorry. I'm actually right in the middle of working whilst doing this. Typical Tottenham too. It was actually, I just phoned my phone on the sofa to have because I've been working all night, actually, weirdly, to have 15 minutes to have lunch with my partner. And then suddenly, of course, that is the time where Tottenham announce that they've sacked Igor Tudor. Nathan says, Spurs should pay anything Ange wants and run the rest of the season like it's a cup run. He can get you out of trouble. I don't disagree, mate. I don't disagree, but a lot of fans do. For me, the benefit of bringing Ange in would be for him to come in as a kind of Winston Churchill, man manager, motivator, cup final guy. Exactly. But I don't think it's going to happen. Ed says it's not only a positive manager we need, the players need to massively up their game. Come on, you Spurs. And Goose says Poch will walk out on the US job, highest paid manager in the Premier League Championship and full control on signings. It's going to happen. I don't think it is, mate. I really don't. And Systemic Frog says, Jesus, the ownership that just keeps on giving. Yeah, total understatement. But there we go. Rappers 57, thank you for your comment, says this current bunch of players seem to need mollycoddling. Yeah, honestly, it is a nightmare, but I do think getting rid of Igor Tudor was the right thing. Henry Winter, esteemed journalist, says Igor Tudor has left Tottenham Hotspur the old mutual agreement. He says Spurs had to act. Tudor was clearly out of his depth. His team selection and decision-making against Nottingham Forest was disastrous in a game Spurs urgently needed to win but lost badly. Tudor deserves sympathy and sensitivity because of the sad news of his father's passing, and Tudor is only partly culpable for Spurs' slide towards relegation. Whoever is in the dugout has to deal with 1, a recruitment policy that has led to a squad with too few leaders. The captain gets banned, in brackets, all responsibility takers beyond a few gems like Archie Gray. 2, a chronic injury list compounding squad deficiencies. 3, individual mistakes by players through lack of concentration and application. And 4, a lack of direction from the owners and board. From dugout to dressing room to boardroom, Spurs need stronger leadership. Yeah, I think Henry Winter's pretty much got it. Holly Agomba says, and apologies if I'm getting your name wrong, says it's going to be Ryan Mason or Harry Redknapp. John Sopel has described Igor Tudor as the Liz Truss of football. What a mess our team is right now. Dearie me. Yeah, and just to say again, in case any of you missed it, according to Sam Wallace and Matt Law in The Telegraph, the list of options for a short-term appointment include Ben Davis, Harry Redknapp, Chris Hughton, Glenn Hoddle, Tim Sherwood, and then checks have been made on Adi Hutter, and Sean Dyche is available. Nathan Cooper says, Barn, how many wins do you think Spurs need to stay up, or points? I think 3 wins minimum. That's what I think. 3 wins, absolute minimum. And I have to say, I don't think it's likely. The Spurs web say Langer and Vinai need to massively redeem themselves with the next appointment in what has been a massive farce of railroading out our club to relegation. Demary says Liz Truss would double the salaries of the players. Michael Rogers says get a duo/team of ex-Spurs in. Sure, but I don't think it's quite as easy as that. Dave Bird says, just imagine the new coach having AH on his jacket while coaching at a Jewish club. That's as bad as someone drinking from a Gunners cup. Well, listen, like I said, that is the madness of the position that Tottenham find themselves in. It's just endless, isn't it? Part-time guest says, Barnaby, if Dyche gets the job, I'll stop supporting Spurs from a boyhood fan. Well, I don't think Dyche is the right man, but I wouldn't stop supporting Spurs. I would just have to hope that his man management is so brilliant and that those players would love him so much that suddenly it enables them to play this style of football that they've so far proven that they cannot play in a more successful vein. But yeah, I mean, oh dear. Pete Olsen says letting Pierre go was a big mistake. That's one I haven't heard for a while. And Goose says Spurs need at least 3 wins to stay up, minimum, definitely. Only 7 all season, exactly. Billy says Roberto De Zerbi is the man. And Captain Mannering says I'm available and we'll play an 8-1-1. If you don't concede, you don't lose. Well, I think we've been playing an 8-1-1 all season, haven't we? Jay Chan says Daddy Davies player manager. Well, he's not playing at the moment, but I see what you mean. And Gravedigger says club sack manager after his father just died. Disgusting and classless, typical Spuds. Well, Gravedigger with a very relevant name there. Mr. Ruckus says the only thing that can save us is a big bonus to the players, as once the white line is crossed, I can't see what manager can motivate them. Well, they must be already on a bonus of some sort, although I guess probably not a save yourself from relegation bonus. Mr. M says Barnaby, get in Redknapp with Sherwood as number 2. Defoe coaches the strikers with Bale and Les Ferdinand to help out too. Yeah, why not? Just get the whole band back together. Ray Hennessy doesn't want Ange. He says Ange lost us 22 games, so why the F would we bring him in? There is a good stat. I will just say this. There's a good stat that when Ange had his back 5 available, he only lost 4 games in total. That is Porro, Udogi, Van der Ven, Romero, Vicario. Mikey Mike says the next manager Spurs, while every fan would love Pochettino, we all know it's going to end up being De Zerbi. The question is, will the fan base be on board with this, bearing in mind his staunch defense of Mason Greenwood, the craziest time in history to be a Spurs fan? And Invert the Wing, I don't know if you guys follow Invert the Wing, can be quite funny on Twitter. Says the Igor Tudor departure is long overdue, but that isn't my issue. My issue is not having a replacement lined up. Tottenham have almost 3 weeks off. Would have been enough time to give players available a mini pre-season and implement his ideas. Completely agree with that. Already 1 week into the time frame with no one sort out. Tudor, unfortunate reign. I like his boldness, no care for player politics, and for that I will always respect him. And Adam Rowe, the Liverpudlian comedian, said about Tottenham sacking him, the fact that this has taken a full week of the international break and wasn't done immediately is mind-blowing. Yeah, but there we go. Dingoyid, says, I'm 60 with Spurs tattoos, but what a fucking insult this club is to loyal fans. Chance Cube says, I will take Ange right now. Stephen Flynn says, I've heard Chris Hughton. I have to say, if it's Chris Hughton, I think we might as well just, honestly, I think we might as well all just give up. I cannot believe he's on the list. And it just shows to me how little these people in charge know. And I hate to say it, I know a lot of people will be angry with me for saying it, but Daniel Levy would not have let it slip to this. You know, I was never staunch Levy in, staunch Levy out, but this is ridiculous. Goat says, I feel Tottenham will have to get Sean Dyche or Ange because no one else is coming. All right, guys, listen, thanks so much for your support. I will, of course, jump on as soon as we hear who the replacement manager is. Do give this video a like. Do press subscribe to the channel to keep across daily Tottenham Hotspur news. Come on, you Spurs, and goodbye, Igor Tudor. Get yourself to okjersey.com, where you can buy all the best football shirts around, including the amazing vintage Spurs tops I wear on this channel. But I think the Spurs shirt you'll really want is, of course, the absolutely magnificent Tottenham 1901 FA Cup winners 125-year anniversary top, available in both short and long sleeve. And as if that wasn't enough, if you go onto their website and like the look of one of their shirts, choose your size, get your name and a number on the back, or the Champions League badge on the sleeve as well if you're that way inclined, then go to checkout, type the word BARN into the coupon section. That's BARN as in short for Barnaby, and when you do, you'll get 8% off your purchase. Get yourself to okjersey.com, or if you're too lazy to go to the website, just scan the QR code that's on the left